All right, welcome back. This is our Xfinity Tweet of the Night from Jason Mackey of the Pirates. Connor Griffin joins Barry Bonds as the only Pirate in modern era since 1901 with 2 hits, including a home run and stolen base on their birthday. Yeah, what a nice night it was for Connor Griffin and the Pirates. They made it look absolutely easy tonight. And Paul Skeens, when he's on, he is unhittable, still is. He's going to be the favorite, is right now to win the Cy Young, and with another win tonight, 4-1 again after that first start of the year, which again was an inflation of his ERA, quite frankly, after 2 bad plays by O'Neill Cruz in the outfield. But he's bounced right back, as you knew he would, and the Pirates take game 1 in a place, as I said, it's hard for them to play. All right, let's get to the lines. A lot of people want to talk about what went on and your thoughts about Drew Aller and what he may do with Will Howard as a backup competition, or maybe something more than that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up. Let's go to the lines, beginning with Eric in Johnstown. Hello, Eric. What's up?
Hey, Pomp. Great show. Love it.
Thank you.
Love the pick. Pittsburgh Nation, we are Penn State, man. Glad to have him in the fold. One thing I wish your sidekick was on the show tonight, the Pony Express. Please ask him next time he's on the show. Tweet from about 8 months ago, he said that if the Steelers draft Drew Aller, he will quit his job. I was going to put him to the test and see what his response to that was.
Well, his response is he's not going to quit his job, I can tell you that. I didn't know he did that. Then again, Pony puts those tweets out there. Some, they come back to haunt you. Old tweets exposed under that category. By the way, that pick of Drew Aller was 76 in the 3rd round. It was the pick that the Steelers got back when they traded George Pickens to Dallas. So they used that to their advantage and got Drew Aller. Now, whether or not you believe he's going to be a franchise quarterback or not, normally 3rd-round picks, very rarely that they do. 6th-round picks almost never do, with the exception of Brady. So bottom line is there's going to be a competition here. And I wonder what it means for Mason Rudolph, because it seems, as Rappaport reported, that most likely if Rodgers is back, there's going to be no room for him based on these 2 young guys they have there. So we'll see what they do with that. But again, nothing official from Aaron Rodgers. And I wonder how long that'll take before they officially tell everyone, if they already know. John is in Punxsutawney. He joins us right now on the hotline. Hey, John, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Go right ahead.
I'm waiting to play golf with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I like Punxsutawney.
Yes, it's wonderful. And the Steelers made their best pick of all time tonight, Drew Aller. That kid deserves that. It's not his fault that he got hurt, and it's not his fault that James Franklin was his pretend coach.
Yeah, I think a lot of people believe that his performance in some way was traceable to how James Franklin, had a fairly conservative game plan and didn't allow him to do maybe the things that he wanted to put on display. Whatever the case, the broken ankle ended that thought, and a lot of people wondered what that might happen to him. Going into last season, you might remember, he was looked at as a possible number 1 pick. Remember Ty Simpson at one point was number 1 overall projected pick, and then the season happens and Mendoza comes out of nowhere and wins the Heisman and wins a national championship. So things do change rather quickly in the quarterback business in college. And quite frankly, next year, as we look at it right now, looks like a class that's going to be a good quarterback class. I would imagine the Steelers are going to draft another quarterback next year, because Rodgers, if he does come back, that's it. He ain't playing more than 1 more year. So they're going to do it again. And as it sits right now, it looks like a good quarterback class. But that will depend on where they end up in the draft. If it's in the 20s again, it may be hard for them to do that unless they move up with some draft picks, and who knows how many of those they're going to have. But they still have a lot more for tomorrow. We'll see. If I'm hoping that Eli Heidenreich is a guy they end up taking at some point, because he's a great kid from Mount Lebanon. Certainly rewrote some of the record books at Navy. He'd be a great guy to have here on special teams, and his work ethic is unmatched. All right, back to the lines we go. We got Brian in North Huntington. Hey, Brian, go right ahead.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
I'm thinking the Steelers still have a dilemma over at left tackle due to the fact that, let's say Broderick Jones' career might not be over, but they're not going to exercise his 5th-year option. So they still have a dilemma over there. So I'm thinking, are they still going to go out and maybe sign a veteran left tackle, maybe pick somebody up off the scrap heap after the June 1st cuts? Because you don't want to go into the season with IMAX starting over there, and you can't. You really don't want to keep Dylan Cook over there. You want to move him back to guard, and you kind of want to just, keep people where they're supposed to be. Your thoughts?
Well, I agree with your assessment there that they have a lot of pieces, but nobody has a specific piece. And that could be viewed as a good thing under the category of flexibility, but it's also a bad thing. You want permanent starters at each of these positions. Consistency, cohesion on offensive line is very important. Frazier has been there now. He is solid where he is. I think, the rest of that line is in flux in many ways. Mason McCormick's pretty good. He's turned out to be a good right guard. Now, the question is, does Troy Fautano move over to left, and do you move IMAX, as you call him, over to right? Or do you look at, potentially a guy like him as a guard? Because he's played some guard over there. But, Ihanachor is a guy who I think mostly trends at a tackle position. And listen, none of what happened yesterday is on him. He was an up-and-coming player. He wasn't looked at as a first-round pick necessarily, but he may turn out to be exactly the guy they need. He has tremendous upside. Whether he reaches that potential or not is up to them. And they have some new coaches, and maybe they'll be able to get it out of him. But as far as the pick itself, I think at one point of this draft, we thought they were going to address either tackle or guard, and they did. It was just forced upon them to do it a little earlier yesterday. So, but there's a lot of flexibility or flux, whatever you want to call it, in the offensive line. I think there needs to be more stability as this thing moves forward. Daniel in Pittsburgh joins us right now. Hey, Dan, what's up?
Hey, guys. I just want to talk to you about Drew Eller pick. Mm-hmm. I'm really concerned, quite honestly, about our leadership right now. Why would Pittsburgh decide to pick Drew Eller when he really didn't have a successful college career? Big Ohio State fan. We already have Will Howard, right? And I haven't seen him do anything in football. And that pick particularly, to me, would be somebody who could possibly start on our team. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you make a point like that. I had the same feeling about when Ty Simpson went to the Rams. This is a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl, and they have their quarterback who's an MVP, and they go out and draft another quarterback. I understand the long play, but I also know that they wanted somebody to complement Matthew Stafford, give him another weapon. How old is Devontae Adams? How long is he going to be around? Puka Nacua, he's in some rehab right now. Who knows what he's going to be like? So I thought for sure they'd get for a wide receiver at pick 13. They didn't do it. They did later in the draft, but same kind of situation here with Drew Aller. Listen, he had a good, not this past year because he was injured most of it, back to the college football playoff. He made some pretty good passes. Now, you can question the quality of the opposition in those playoff wins, but still, he did it in those big stage moments. So I still think he can be a good player. I'm not going to look at him as a franchise quarterback at this point. I think those guys are going to battle to get some playing time, and we'll see. Now, is it in their DNA to get it? Maybe so. But I think, again, next year we'll be talking about another drafting of a quarterback at some point of that draft once Rodgers is officially done. Let's go to AJ in Clairton. Hello, AJ. How are you?
Good, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
The only thing I want to say about Aaron Rodgers is I think he's just playing a game against the Steelers, and I think the Steelers should end his game.
How about if they've already asked him and he's already given them an answer? We just don't know the answer.
Yeah, but I just think, him holding out the way he's been holding out, he's just playing a game. And,
Well, it's not a good look. I agree. It's not a good look for them. The last thing you want is this game being asked every single day to the point where it's becoming just ridiculously redundant every day. Is he here? Is he not? If he's here, just say it. I don't understand what the holdup is, unless there is a legitimate holdup, and there could be. Maybe he's still thinking about retirement. I'm not going to rule that out until he says what he's going to do, because we don't know. And until we know, you can always speculate. You can also look at it from this point of view. They know that they don't have an answer from him. Maybe they felt the need to go out and get another quarterback, even though maybe that wasn't what they originally thought going into that third round. There's a lot of questions in play because he has not made it official. They have not made it official. So I think that's one of the things that I think would like to change here soon. But it's been a busy night. Of course, Drew Aller in the third round. Jeremy Bernard in the second round as the Steelers trade up to get a wide receiver finally after watching many of them go. And how about this? Cleveland Browns get Casey Concepcion and then Denzel Boston. They have two receivers that were in play for the Steelers tonight, and Cleveland swooped them up, although they have a way of messing everything up, so I wouldn't be surprised if it won't make a difference there. We got to take a break. 412-575-2600. Call us as we continue right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. All right, back. I want to inform you about the third-round pick, their second third-round pick of the night for the Steelers, cornerback Dalen Everett at pick number 85. This is a former five-star recruit coming out of high school. At the beginning of his college stage, he's a rangy, athletic cornerback. Big guy, too, 6'1", 196, so they have a lot of height on that side of the ball at cornerback, and they certainly could use more depth there, given the age of some of the guys in the secondary. But the Steelers, I believe, have one more pick coming at you. I'm not sure when that is. In this third round, and then tomorrow rounds 4 through 7 over at Acrisure Stadium, where there was another big crowd, although it's cleared out. Jeremiah Miller, our producer, just told me in my ear that is really cleared out, and that was the case last night after the first round pick. They cleared it out as well. Hockey news tonight, Montreal goes up 2-1 on Tampa as they beat them in Montreal 3-2. What a scene there. Montreal's a good team. I picked them to win that series. I love their energy and their young guys coming together. Tampa's a very experienced team, but they're having their trouble with that team. Tomorrow, the Penguins trying to stave off elimination. They're down 3-0. All you need to know is look at the all-time record of teams that are down 3-0. Can they come back? Well, there have been 213 times when teams have faced 0-3 deficits, and only 4 of them have overcome that deficit. So the odds are heavily stacked against them, but all they can do is play the game and get a win and then go from there. I will say this, Stuart Skinner, who is their goaltender of record in this series, 2 years ago in 2024, I believe it was, in the first of 2 Stanley Cup opportunities against the Florida Panthers, they were down 3-0 to Edmonton. They came all the way back to make it 3-3, and they lost in a Game 7. So, again, one step at a time, it's all you can do. And they got to show up tomorrow, but it's not that easy because they've been outplayed in every single game. They're being out-hit, they're being outplayed, they're being out everything. And that has to change in Game 4 tomorrow night. That'll be in Philadelphia. Pirates Game 2 of their series against Milwaukee win tonight. Big night for Paul Skeens and a big night for Connor Griffin. They win that one 6-0. Skeens 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed, no walks, no earned runs in that game. And Connor Griffin goes 3 for 4 with a home run, his first of his career. First of many, I'm sure. He also had a stolen base, 3 runs batted in, and 3 hits. So he's getting more and more comfortable as they go along. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. I want to remind you, join us tomorrow night at 7:30 on KDKA-TV as we present a Steelers draft wrap-up. We'll look at all the picks they made, the moves they've made. Charlie Batch, Rich Walsh, and I will be there tomorrow at 7:30. And then Sunday night, 11:35, it's another edition of the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. So thank you for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow night and every night right here on KDKA+. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.